The traveling show rolled into the dusty town at sundown, its wagons creaking beneath banners that promised wonders from distant lands. Among the cages and canvas stalls, a figure sat in chains for gawking crowds. A young woman, no older than 25, her wrists bound in iron cuffs, her face streaked with dust and defiance. They called her a prize, a rare beauty stolen from somewhere far, meant only for spectacle. Townsfolk laughed and pointed, tossing coins to hear her sing, but she stayed silent, until one man lingered longer than the rest, a cowboy with a worn hat and quiet eyes. His name was Colton Reeves, a ranch hand hardened by years under the sun, a man who seldom spoke unless he had to. He had seen cruelty in men before, but this was different. Her gaze locked on his, as if she recognized something buried deep within him. When the crowd thinned, she leaned forward against the iron bars, lips trembling. "Please," she whispered, her voice ragged, "claim me, before they sell me away." Colton's chest tightened. Claim her? His calloused hand brushed the rail, torn between walking away and stepping into danger. That night Colton's mind burned with her words. He sat by the saloon's lantern glow, untouched whiskey before him, hearing the laughter of showmen outside as they drank their profits. He had nothing to offer but his name, his fists, and a stubborn sense of justice. Yet he remembered his late mother's words, "Never ignore a soul in chains, son." By dawn, decision turned to resolve. He rose, dusted off his coat, and walked toward the wagons where the girl sat, the morning chill still clinging to her breath. The show's master, a fat man with a cruel grin, blocked Colton's way. "A fine one, ain't she?" he said. "But she's not for the likes of you. She's coin, not company." Colton's jaw flexed. He tipped his hat low, masking the fire in his eyes. "I'll buy her freedom," he said simply. Laughter erupted from the showman. "Freedom? She ain't free. She's property." The word struck like a blade and the girl flinched. Colton stepped closer, his voice iron. "Not tonight, not anymore." Tension thickened, hands went to knives. Colton stood alone, outnumbered, but he had faced worse odds on cattle drives and in back-alley brawls. He moved swift as a rattler, knocking one man cold with his fist, disarming another before steel flashed in the morning sun. The fat master shouted curses as chaos erupted, but Colton's eyes never left the chained woman. He reached the bars, breaking the lock with a hammer. He'd snatched. Chains clattered to the ground, and for the first time her shoulders rose in hope. They fled through the sleeping town, boots crunching dirt as shouts trailed behind. Colton pulled her into the shadows of the livery, saddling his horse with hurried hands. She clutched his arm, breath shaking. "Why would you risk this?" she asked. He looked at her, dusted hair catching dawn's first light. "Because no one deserves chains," he answered, "and because you asked me." She swallowed, tears cutting paths through dirt on her cheeks. For the first time, her lips curved into the faintest smile. The ride carried them across the valley, into hills where the showman's reach faltered. For hours neither spoke, the silence heavy with questions. Finally she whispered, "My name is Eliza." The name hung in the air, fragile yet strong. Colton tipped his hat, repeating it softly, as though promising it would never be lost again. Behind them, the wagons raged, but ahead lay only the wide horizon. Two strangers bound not by chains, but by fate, and a single whispered plea that neither would ever forget. By nightfall, they reached a creek beneath tall cottonwoods. Colton built a fire, its glow warming the silence between them. Eliza sat close, her hands finally free, her eyes no longer haunted, but alive with possibility. "You claimed me," she said softly. Colton shook his head, gaze steady. "No, Eliza, you claimed yourself. I just helped cut the chains." In that moment, under a sky scattered with stars, the weight of the world shifted. Neither was alone anymore. And in the stillness of the night, freedom tasted like forever.